she did 85% what I wanted.
She fought like a Philly from North Philly to South.
Make us thing as we're doing it.
I saw it.
But
that was good. She dug deep.
And I told her, this fight gonna make you.
Hey Frank, just FYI, we're live. Just to let you know, so don't say who shot
so
Kennedy.
Real quick, on a podcast right now.
Hey, tell him I said hello.
Just say what's up to the fighter's voice real quick. Mateo Mayor.
So, how you doing?
What's up, my man?
Coach Al got himself a unified world champion in Michaela Mayer last night. So I want to, while he's here at Top Rank, I want to congratulate him. He's back to work a day after. So helping all the young fighters. That's it. That's a legend right here. Philly legend, boxing legend, man. One of the greatest minds in sports history right here.
Oh, thanks for that.
There you go. Well, everybody's sleeping. You're still working. And congratulations on a great victory last night, my man.
Oh, no, his fighter's out partying. She's at the beach club right now.
She probably is.
Oh, I just snitched on her. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
She's out there with her friends right now. Having a good time.
And everything.
But Coach Al will get her back into shape. But yeah, congratulations, Coach Al Mitchell.
Thanks again. I appreciate it. And we need more men and women to fight like that. To me, that was one of the best fights we had in 10 years. They both dug down. I take my hat off to the opponent. But she come there, they both come to win. And very rarely you see a bout like that women put their asses on the line. Great fight. And it was great for boxing.
Hey, Michaela's a beast.
One of the best fights all around this year.
Believe it or not, just what you say, I thought it was one of the. It should be in the category for fight of the year. No question about it. A friend of mine told me it was 1,100 punches thrown by the 7th round. That's crazy.
That's insane. Now, men don't do that.
Exactly.
Men sometimes don't do that.
Right.
And you've seen it. You've been in the corner on opposite ends.
Right.
So.
And the other thing, there was 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
To throw that much leather, it was nonstop.
That's a good point. 2-minute rounds. If they had another minute, it'd be almost double.
Yeah, great fight for the women. Great fight for boxing, and great fight for people at the end of the year say, "What is the best fight of the year?"
Exactly. And let me add this to it. And what promotion did this great fight take place on?
Top Rank. You got to look at it. It was just a great fight.
Yes, it was.
The fans, I could hardly hear and tell her what to do in the corner. I heard the fans holler. Great fight, great opponent. This is what boxing needs. We need a couple more bouts like that.
Along with a great trainer.
I remember working with Georgie and knowing all the old timers and buoy fishing and all of them. And I remember Georgie Benton used to tell me, you're only good as your memories. I got a lot of great memories, and this is one. I remember this for a long time.
There you go.
Respect that cooked out.
All right,
there you
thanks
go.
again.
No, I appreciate your time.
I don't know nothing else. I lost 2 wives because they say I like boxing better than them. And I hate to say it, they was right.
Yep. We're going to die doing this.
There you go.
Love it.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, Coach Cal's heading over to the beach club, the Vegas Beach Club.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time, my man.
No problem.
Only on the Fighter's Voice, Frank, is where we bring, the unexpected. Totally the unexpected.
Oh yeah, man. We don't listen. If you have a show while I'm at the gym, something's gonna be going over here. So like we have going on. A lot of stuff's going on this weekend. We got a lot of stuff going on at the gym. We had Canelo all last week.
Yeah, tell us how. Frank, tell us how was that having Canelo inside the gym? And you've been with legends. You've been with many fighters of that talent.
Listen, Canelo is arguably the best fighter pound for pound in boxing right now. I'm a little partial to guys like Tyson Fury, Terrence Crawford, and Teofimo Lopez, Vasily Lomachenko, the monster in a way. So I know I mentioned all top ranked fighters, but you can't deny those names I just mentioned.
No, you can't.
Aren't top pound for pound guys. But Canelo, man, is such a good fighter, my opinion. the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. And that's with all due respect to the greats that came before him that I consider greats: Julio Cesar Chavez, Juan Manuel Marquez. Those I'm saying as far as accomplishment wise, you know, there's obviously Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera. So there's a lot of great ones, but
Salvador Sanchez, Pepino Cuevas. Yeah.
Salvador Sanchez. I'm talking during my era of being a super boxing fan.
Absolutely.
These are some
Oscar
of my
De La Hoya.
favorites.
Let's not forget about Oscar De La Hoya in his time. Took on everybody.
Well, I mean, if you want to go in from Mexico, and I'm not taking anything away from Mexican Americans, but you know, Mexican Americans and born and raised Mexican fighters, they kind of separate themselves.
They have their own rivalry, respected rivalry, you would say.
Exactly. So they have their own rivalries there, but you know, there's so many great Mexican fighters, whether it's they're born there or they're first, second generation Mexican Americans or whatever. There's so many great fighters, and you know, I'm here giving, you know, I'm just right now I'm going on the Fighter's Voice. I'm going to give props to all Mexican fighters because I think without them, especially in the last couple generations in the sport, I don't think, you know, boxing would be as great of a sport as it is. You know, I think guys like Floyd Mayweather, who is arguably the greatest fighter of all time, and any fighter like that, especially like the smaller weights that come up without the Mexican fighters, without those dance partners, without just the heart and determination that come in there and put on a great show for the boxing fans, you know, it wouldn't be what it is today. And a lot of the fighters that aren't of Mexican descent, the Puerto Rican greats, without that rivalry, you know, without those great fights. So shout out to all Mexican fighters, past, present, and future, right here on the Fighter's Voice. And I still got love for all other nationalities, but you know, just right here, right now, I'm gonna give a shout out to all the Mexican fighters. Thank you for, you know, being a part of me being in this great sport of boxing. Without you, I wouldn't be here.
Well, you know what, Frank, you keep it real, and Top Rank does have the right person in place when they put you in the place that you're at, because I mean, when you do what you love, you know, you've heard it before. You do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Absolutely. Oh no, you work. Don't get me wrong, Rich. I'm here. I work. I mean, now, you know, when I'm in an event, I'm 24 hours a day. That whole entire fight week. Yeah. You know, now that we have a new operation going on here at the Top Rank Gym, and I'll kind of get to who we're gonna have. We'll go back to that Canelo thing. You know, I'm here 14 hours a day. This is, you know, and this is a private gym. We only have Top Rank fighters. This is a home for Top Rank fighters. Obviously, they need a boxing haven, I want to say. They're more than welcome here because they are in the Top Rank family, but also in Canelo's case. He's not a Top Rank fighter, maybe not right now, but he was invited by Bob Arum last week. Yeah. We kept it quiet. We kept it under wraps. And, you know, I was able to watch him every day last week up until weigh-in day. And it was a great honor. And I'm telling you, like, to be around a lot of the greats. And I'm going to consider his opponent Caleb Plant, who's an undefeated world champion right now. I've had the honor of being around him and sharing many personal conversations and watching him in training camp as well. It's just an honor. And then Canelo, what he means to the sport right now, what he is to the sport right now. It was great to get to see him, you know, just shake out, just doing basic intervals, just to, you know, kind of sweat out a little bit of that extra weight. Obviously, made weight on Friday yesterday, and but just to see him, and he's a great, you know, I don't speak really too many words of Spanish, and his English is very good, and I had a couple brief conversations with him while he was training. I don't want to, you know, disrespect him and his team by just talking to him while he's working. This is the final finishing touches on a historic fight that's going to happen tonight. But man, it was great. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I have to pinch myself once in a while, being around not just the great fighters that are famous, but just I get to be around a lot of great people, a lot of great people that, you know, I could say I'm honored and like someone like you, Rich, anytime I see you, man, I tell you all the time, you work your butt off. You've been working your butt off for years. And you could go back to, in the beginning when you first started, you were always overly excited, and you were, me being, in your position before, I was like, calm down, you'll get it. And now you've got, bro, you're like so cool and confident, and every week, bro, it's like, it's a star-studded lineup of boxing experts, boxing superstars. And, I commend you. Like I'm always going to come on your show and give a little bit of a Rich Ortiz, what do you want to say, pat on the back moment. But yeah, no, just like that, man. So, in this game, and I know you're starting to learn this as well. You get to meet some great people, and I'm just blessed to be in this position.
Well, I appreciate that. Those actually come short and few, so I embrace the ones that do come forward, and thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? Let's talk about not just tonight's fight. Last night, women's boxing in general. It took not a step, but a leap to say, hey, we're here. We're not going anywhere. Women's boxing is here to stay. Make some power moves now. That's what the fans really want. Those power moves, the great women of boxing sharing the ring with each other.
Yeah, and the one thing about boxing is a lot of people want to see that knock down, drag out type of rock'em sock'em robot wars and stuff like that. And we do need those once in a while. We can't always have two technicians jabbing and running for 12 rounds. And as Coach Al had said, there was 1,100 punches thrown at some point. And, when do you see that in any type of gender fights? You know what I'm saying? So it's needed sometimes. The thing about women's boxing, especially here in the United States, it doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And it wasn't getting the recognition it deserved up until the point, a unified world title bout, Michaela Mayer, who I think is a superstar. I think her story and her personality, I think so many people get it. And then, Maeva Hamadou, she's was a long-standing world champion, 6 title defenses. I think, been undefeated for a very long time. And a lot of people didn't. You really had to dissect it and look at what this fight means. Was Michaela Mayer ready for such an experienced world champion? And she proved last night that she was. It ended up being a great fight. I commend both boxers for going in there, putting on a great show. Listen, I'm a top-ranked guy, and I thought Michaela won the fight. It was a scorecard was a little wide, I thought. But I thought Michaela won 7. I think one judge was 9-1, which is okay. A lot of the rounds were, a few of the rounds were close. But I had it 7-3, Michaela, and that is what it is.
Hey, it's okay to be in a fight. And a fight is when your opponent is fighting back. A fight is when your opponent's also winning some rounds. So that's part of boxing. And as far as the scoring, you never know where the scoring is going to go, how it's going to be. But at the end of the day, they got it right. One thing I do want to say about getting it right is I'm going to touch on something. I don't know. Well, the news came out last night. It was broken over the air last night. The undefeated protege, 147-pound Virgil Ortiz Jr., parting ways with Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. What's your whole take on that? Is that a good move for Virgil? Is that a good move for boxing? Is that a good move for Robert?
Listen, I read this morning, and I at first I just saw the headlines, and I was like, ooh, they parted ways. And I was like, let me read into this. So I read into it, and I respect Robert Garcia. I like Robert Garcia. He's one person in this boxing game that I look forward to seeing. His son Pita, his whole team. I love the whole Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. I never really got a chance to ever get to know Virgil Ortiz, but I got to know him watching him fight on television. And that guy is, arguably one of the top 3 or 4 welterweights in the world right now. It's him and Boots Ennis, Duran Ennis, I think are going to be the stars of this. They're going to take over. The torches are going to be passed to them when Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and, Manny Pacquiao has obviously bowed out. So I think they're the two guys that are going to lead the way in the welterweight division and move up. But I think both guys will be able to move up to 154, and as they get older, maybe become middleweights. So with him and Robert moving, I read into it. I don't know. I don't know really internally what's going on. I commend Robert Garcia for just saying, "Hey, we parted ways amicably." Yeah. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. I mean, I don't know. I can't see when you have such a good winning formula that you would, if it, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know what was broken there, and I don't know if we'll ever find out, or maybe we'll find out later on down the line. Is it the case where Robert chose to train Joshua Franco instead of Virgil, and when they fought on the same day, if that dampened anything? But it is what it is. It's an unfortunate situation. I mean, I wish Virgil Ortiz the best. I hope he continues his dominant rise to the top, and we eventually get to see him and Boots Ennis collide. And Robert Garcia, he had said, "Look, I've been in this position before where a fighter had left, and it happens." So we'll see. I wish both guys the best. We'll just see where it turns out. I'm not going to speculate. Like I said, I respect Robert Garcia too much.
As I do too.
Oh shit! You got Regis Prograis here.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn!
Put the screen
I was
on,
mentioning it to you, bro. You got all the 140s.
Bro, when you said 140s, I had to get a hold of my dude. Put the screen on, please, so we can bring him on. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. Don't want to lose this for the viewers, the fans, and followers. They're anticipating. Okay. Then let's go with it. I don't want to rob them of rawness. Ali Setbacks gets away with this all the time of his raw videos, so we can do the same. There we go. There we go. Hey, we're pulling this up right now, and we're getting Regis ready, and appreciate that. And Frank, I wanted to surprise you. You know what I mean? Because actually,
no, I know. I just saw him pop up, and I am surprised because I'm a big fan. Listen, I told you this earlier in the show. Besides the heavyweight division, it's because I'm 5'9", and I'm a smaller, or I would just say slightly above average size man.
Yeah.
I don't want to give myself, never call myself average, but besides the heavyweight division, the 140-pound division is my favorite division. I mean, I can't tell you, there's so many fighters in that division. Here's the case where they say, there should only be one title in the 140-pound division. I wouldn't mind if there was 8 world titles, because there's about that many guys right now that any given day can be a world champion. So, and you can just, I could probably give you 10 names right now, and if you just picked out of a hat any 2 of them, it's going to be
I can tell you this, Regis, if you don't mind, if you could turn your phone sideways, because this next question's for you. You could put Regis up against your top 10 of all the 140-pound fighters, and you can safe to say that Regis can defeat any one of those fighters at 140, and also give Regis can possibly defeat him, because that's how stacked the 140-pound division is. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, Regis. How you doing, my man?
I'm chilling, bro. What's up with it?
Hey, we're going to do a thing next month. It just kind of from the hip, and we're going to break down the 140-pound division. It is my task to get everybody in the top 10 on the Fighter's Voice, possibly put together our own man-made tournament, or who we think would win or match up great with each other. Personally, Regis, I know you have a certain wanting to fulfill yourself as a 2-time world champion. If you had your chance to fight for a bout again, who would you like to share the ring with? And first of all, say hello to the little one there for us.
Thank you, bro. It don't matter, brother. I mean, listen, like with me, me calling out names, it just don't do nothing for me no more. So for me, I just want to be a world champion again. That's my main thing. I want to be a 2-time world champion. I feel like I can't say I feel like I was robbed. I don't want to say the word robbed of my world championship, but I do feel like I should still be a world champion right now at 140. So, a lot of people ask me, when you're moving up to 147, it's like I wanna be a champion again at 140. That's just something I want to do. I want to be a champion at 140 again before I even think about moving up. And I don't know if you saw, I did I took it serious. I did a weight cut a few weeks
I
ago.
saw that.
Yeah, I did a weight cut, bro. In 2 weeks, and I made 140 easy. I never had a nutritionist in my life. I always did things, the other way, like with saunas and all that type of shit. And this time I had a nutritionist. I didn't sit in the sauna one time. I didn't wear a sauna suit one time. And with the nutritionist, he did everything right on point. And I made 140 very, very, very easy. So. I think right now I probably might stay around 140 for a while, and like I said, a lot of people want me to go to 147. They say it's the money division, but I think 140 is going to be the money division. I think I'm making a wise choice by staying at 140 because it's so much. It's so much going on right now at 140, and then there's so much about to go on at 140. You got that whole class of like with Teofimo and Devin Haney and Javante Davis and Ryan Garcia, all of them should be coming up to 140. That's all those are big names. And then you already have a lot of talent at 140 already right now. So for me, I just want to stay at 140 and hopefully I can secure those big fights.
Hey Regis, before I go on with my next question, here one of my manners. Regis Prograis, Mr. Frank Stea from Top Rank. Frank, Regis Prograis.
Hey, what's up, Frank?
Big fan, man. Always big fan. That's why I was gonna cut in and say when you asked them who we would want to fight next, it obviously has to start with the rematch with Josh Taylor. You know what I mean? But I mean you put Regis up there with any of these guys, man. I mean look at what Zepeda did last week. Regis versus Zepeda is going to get a lot of people excited. I mean there's Jose Ramirez. There's just all these guys. Tank Davis. I mean, you're one of those exciting fighters. I don't never been, even on your rise as a prospect, you were just exciting, clobbering guys. So just it's
I'll lead into that picture
it
a
is.
little bit.
I look, and I don't want to. I would say if Regis went up to, because you're still obviously a young man, but you're going up to the welterweight division, there's the young guys like Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, but the money guys are the guys that have been around a little while. And I think, we're waiting for them to fizzle. I don't want to say fizzle out. I mean, no disrespect. Terrence Crawford's still top of the game. But right now with the 140 division, man, I mean, I just pulled up BoxRec's top 25 and I mean, it's stacked, bro. It is really, I know Mikey getting upset by Sander Martin, but, there's Pedraza, Sabriel Matias, Jack Catterall. I mean, I don't recommend anybody to fight Robert Easter and Rancis Bartholomew. Talented champions and stuff, but they just make things ugly. It's like, I don't know. It's just like girls putting on bad makeup. It's ugly sometimes. But yeah. Good division. I'm glad Regis plans on staying there. You got a lot of opportunity, a lot of good money. Just now, I think everything's in place.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, Regis, I know you're in the favorite room of your house, correct?
My office, yeah, bro. Yeah, my office in my gym.
There you go. Very well said. Hey, I got to ask you, man, what's your take on tonight's fight? And, your matchup.
I got Canelo, bro. It's hard to go against Canelo. You know that. I mean, for me, it's just hard. It's always hard to go against Canelo. I think Caleb Plant is, a very good fighter. But right now, it's just Canelo's just on and he's active, he's busy. So I just think I can't go against Canelo right now.
Just recently, you had the opportunity of meeting, say, your mentor, your hero, someone that you looked up to in boxing. And share with us exactly what that experience was, and that's meeting the one and only Roberto Duran. What was it like?
I mean, it was more than a dream, bro. It was more than a dream come true. We went out to eat, and then we went to the boxing gym. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing, I didn't know, but Duran watched my fights. I didn't know that. Like, they knew who I was, and he was kind of excited to meet me. Like, my idol was excited to meet me more, you know, and I'm so excited to meet him. It was crazy, bro. It was like definitely a dream come true. You know, I can't wait to, you know, you know, the younger crowd one day when I'm an old man, and they'll be asking me when Durant is long gone, he's there, and they'll be like, damn, like how was it to meet Durant? You know, like with him, you know, he met like Ali and Ray Robinson and stuff like that. So for me, it'll be the same thing one day. They'll be like, damn, how was it to meet Durant? And that's like it's just a once in a lifetime type of experience, man. Like, I mean, in Durant, like I think if I'm not mistaken, Durant is close to 70. If he's not 70 already, he's probably close to 70. And I think over 70 maybe. And like when he was walking around, Durant walked like he looked like a 70-year-old when he walking around, right? But as soon as he got in his boxing stance, it's like he transformed. And I don't know how it happened. It was just like, bro, as soon as he was walking around, I think they say he had to have hip surgery and stuff like that. And so he was walking around like a bad hip, like an old man, you know, he reminded me of my grandpa. And bro, when he got in his boxing stand, it's just like he transformed. I don't even know how. It just all came back to him. And you know, one of his favorite things to say is like boxing is easy, and you can just tell it really was easy to him. You know, like this the things that he was showing me, the things that he was doing. It was just like it's who he is basically.
I'll see you Monday. You got it.
You going to watch a fight?
Yes. I'll see you. You going? Sorry, guys. I mean, I'll see you tonight. No, you don't know?
Regis, I got to ask you this, Regis. What was it like? And I know you guys took that photo.
I'll see you guys.
You did a face-off.
Yeah.
What was it like looking into that man's eyes today?
It was like looking into the devil's eyes himself. Like it was like looking into the devil's eyes, bro. I never looked in. I did a lot of stare-offs, a lot of face-offs and stuff like that with former champions, you know, people that's, you know, that I'm fighting. It was nobody I looked in their eyes like Durant. Nobody. It just was like, yeah, it was like looking at the devil himself, looking in his eyes, like at the devil himself. And that was after we went to eat, after he told all his stories, after we laughed and all that stuff. But it was like I said, it was just like looking at, it was a scary feeling looking at his eyes.
I can tell, and I can tell who won that stare down. Frank, you know, but besides, we're going to take the Top Rank hat off just for a second. Who would you like to see personally Regis Prograis share the ring with? If it happens to be a Top Rank fighter, so be it. But if not, let's hear it. I mean, you're going to play matchmaker for one moment.
I mentioned that. I mentioned it. If it's not, when I heard that it was him and Tank almost going to happen, I was excited about that. I thought that was like, you know, Tank's a pretty unbelievable type of fighter, and him doing, you know, when he beat Mario Barrios, and then they were saying something about him and Regis, I was like, all right, you know what? I think that might be his last stand as just like being, you know, unbelievably that good. And then they were talking him going up to 47 to fight Thurman. So I know that's kind of off the table probably for at least, you know, next 6 months or so. But I think Regis and Jose Zepeda would be a good fight, man. I think Zepeda, you know, how he fought last week, a lot of people didn't consider him like a real power puncher. They knew he had power, but I think the Baranchek fight and obviously with Josue Vargas last week, you know, he's a dangerous puncher, but so is Regis. And I think
move the picture now.
If Zepeda goes in there, not the slick fighter, because to me, Zepeda before Baranchek, I thought he was one of the slickest guys in the game. Period. I was like, ooh, you know, just the way he keeps his distance and his footwork, his movement. Coach Al, I'll see you later. I'll see you. Have a good one. I'll see you. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Sorry at the some fighters leaving the gym, but they I think Zepeda and Regis. I think it would be a banger if Zepeda didn't try to be slick and start fighting. I think that type of fight ends in a knockout. As a fan, without the Top Rank hat, I don't know. That's right then and there. People are going to get excited about seeing a potential fight of the year candidate. I know Regis is like probably, and you know, because he's that type of fighter. He's like licking his lips, licking his fingers, like, yeah, bring it on. I like that. He probably sees something, but like, you know, Jose is a warrior, man. Like, I don't, you know, I think that's two of the best in the world. It's a shame one guy's got all the belts right now. It's like I said, man.
Yeah.
There's 8 guys right now that could be 10 guys right now that could be world champions at 140. But that would be a fight just as a boxing fan I would want to see.
But you know what it tells me, Frank, and this next question is going to be for you, Regis. Someone that knows all the talent is at 140s, and you got potential talent. You name the Robert Garcias and the Tanks coming up to 140s. For Regis to say, hey, I want to stay here. Bring it on. I'm not running from anybody. I want to be here with these invited guests. I want to be here with everybody in this loop because I know something that nobody else knows. And that's the confidence he has in himself. I know, Regis, you don't want to call anybody out, but if you had your favorite, man, I mean, who gets underneath your skin just a bit, or who would you just like to you know, touch up just a second, or just a step of motivation, man? I mean, you got to pick one person. Today they said you're getting a title shot. Brother, pick somebody.
No. Nobody get under my skin, bro. It's all business. I know y'all trying to get me to call somebody out, but it's just it when I call people out, bro, it just don't happen. You know what I'm saying? So I just hey, for me, I talk shit. Of course, I go back and forth. I talk shit to a lot of people, you know, but I mean, I don't want to talk shit to nobody else until the fight is signed. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want to do. Until I fight somebody, I don't want to talk shit because I've been going back and forth with a lot of people. So it don't matter, bro. Like, I mean, it don't matter who I fight. I really, at 140, I don't care who I fight. I really don't. Like, at 140, I will fight anybody in the world. It's nobody.
Those
you
are
know,
comments.
The person, the dude, undisputed. I feel like I beat Josh Taylor. He's undisputed. You know, he's the best. Basically, he's like supposedly like the best in the world at 140, right? And I still feel like I beat him. So everybody else kind of just falls in line, and yeah, it don't matter, bro. It don't matter who I fight. I don't care. Fighting at 140, it doesn't matter.
Let me cut in on this, and I want Regis to go in because I respect him saying that. You know why? Because if he really wanted to fight somebody, he says, "Hey, I want to fight Josh." Tell him. And Josh is going to be like, listen, man, we got a lot of hurdles, a lot of people, a lot of things to get around before that fight can happen. A lot of these fighters, they can only fight who their promoters and who their management work to get put on the table. So it's not, you know, this would be all unorganized if all these, you know, these are freaking gladiators. I mean, warriors. These are, you know, they would, if you just threw them in a room and they weren't getting paid, then they wouldn't fight. There's a lot more on the table. A lot of people, you know, oh, you're ducking me. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're doing that. You know, a lot of people talking about why Teofimo and Haney aren't fighting. There's a lot more hurdles for these guys to get over besides just fighting. This is prize fighting. There's negotiations. There's how much these guys make, where it's going to be, who's going to be the lead promoter, who's this, who's that. You know, it's a lot of things you got to factor in. And, you know, Regis, I think he's at the point of his career where
I understand
he's got to think fighting, but he has to think business as well.
All right. And I understand the business side now. I'm starting to understand the business side now. That's why I don't really care about, because you can call out people. It just, fights don't happen. You can say, oh, I want to fight this person, I want to fight this person. And the fights just don't happen, you know? So for me, it doesn't matter. Like, whoever they put in front of me, I want to fight, that's who I fight. And, you know, I mean, for me, that's how it's going to go. So I don't really care about calling nobody out no more because, you know, I can call out everybody I want to, and the fights just, they still not going to happen. So for me, it don't make sense no more to be, you know, calling people out and all that type of stuff. It's just, you know, when I fight, you know, when I fight somebody, then I fight somebody. Whoever they put in front of me, then that's who I fight. But as far as everything else, like calling people out and all that, it don't make sense.
Well, Regis, they may start calling you out because, I mean, you're becoming a household name. I mean, you haven't taken a step back. Sometimes, like when a champion loses his bout, they say he takes a step back. You've been steady exactly where you're at. You're still the uncrowned champion. When you hear that, how does that make you feel? Not just as a person, but, you know, Lee Samuel said, once a champion, always a champion.
Right. I mean, usually, but that's the thing. Usually in boxing, you know, like once you lose and stuff, you know, people kind of, they start to, you know, look down on you and all that type of stuff. But for me, like, I keep saying I never felt like I lost, so my foot is always on the gas. I still got the confidence. Usually when a fighter loses, they lose that confidence. But for me, my confidence isn't gone. My confidence is actually it's even higher right now, So yeah, I mean it's cool, bro. But like I said, I fight whoever they put in front of me, and I want to be a champion again. And once I'm a champion, I'll be happy again.
There you go. Hey, you know what? We got a lot of questionnaire, and if you can answer these in about 10 seconds each, Regis. It says from Jesus M. Where and who trains Regis?
I have two different trainers. My head trainer is Bobby Benton. I live in Texas, so I train in Houston, Texas, and in LA also. So I have a trainer named Julian True in LA. And so with the whole Julian thing, Julian trains Zapata, right? So that is with the whole Zapata thing, that's a conflict of interest already right there. And I talked to Julian about it the other day, because Zapata just had that big, he had that big knockout. So, but Julian was like, if y'all fight, then, I wouldn't be a part of it at all on no side. So, but if it's business, so if it happens, if it has to happen, then it'll happen. But, I'll try to stay away from the Zapata fight as long as I can, just because. Why you put her over there? Why?
Father
yeah,
Regis.
But like I said, I won't, I'll try to stay away from that as long as I can, because it is a conflict of interest with me and Julian.
Okay, I want to ask you this. I share this with Frank in the top of the show. What's your whole take on undefeated welterweight sensation, the uncrowned champion, so to speak, Virgil Ortiz Jr., parting ways with Mikey Garcia, Robert Garcia's boxing academy? What's your take on this?
I didn't know that. I didn't know it. I didn't know that happened. I mean, sometimes people that's what they do. I mean, it's boxing, Sometimes it is what it is. Where did he go?
Well, there's speculation that he's going to down where Carnelo's at in San Diego, but that hasn't been confirmed. There hasn't been a response yet from Team Carnelo, of course, because they're focused on tonight's fight. So,
right. I mean, sometimes things don't work out. That's, it is what it is, boxing. Sometimes people change trainers. A lot of people change trainers all the time. Some people stay with the same trainer for their whole career. So, I don't know. I can't really speak on it. It depends what went on and stuff like that.
Okay, just wanted to get your take because that seems to be the hot news that was floating around that was dropped yesterday on the Top Rank Fight event. You share with us who you have in tonight's main event, but let's talk about something where you may have some interest later on in the future, and we're talking about Sean Porter taking on Terrence Crawford.
Mm-hmm. That's a good fight. That's a really, really good fight. I'm actually looking forward to that fight probably more than any fight this year, I think, man. That's a huge fight. Yeah, bro, that's a real good fight. Just because everybody keeps saying about the Crawford, his opponents and stuff like that. And I think Sean is the opponent he needs, man. And I don't know. I can say it's maybe a 50-50 fight. I say it's a 50-50 fight, but I do have Crawford winning because of, just because of his style and, his craft, how crafty he is. But Sean is a dog, and Sean is going to fight every minute of every round. He's going to bring it to him. So, I had to argue with my friends yesterday about that. They said, Sean might whoop him, and I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's the styles. Both of the styles kind of clash up perfectly. So I don't know. This could be a good fight. I slightly give Crawford the advantage there.
Frank, I didn't really get a chance to ask you. How do you see that fight materializing? I mean, as we go into the fight, if it gets past the first 5 rounds, and what a matchup do you see in your eyes?
At this stage, Terrence Crawford is with us. We're promoting this event, and it's no secret it's his last fight on his current contract with Top Rank. He hasn't extended. There's not a new contract on the table, so he's going to kind of, like a lot of athletes, this is a free agent. Right after this, this is the contract season right now. It's the final contract. So he has a point to prove, and I don't think he has a point to prove in his eyes, but the public's eyes, because PBC for so many years had all the star welterweights and, Crawford comes up from 135, goes undisputed at 140, and then comes up to 47. And, there was a lot of opponents he's faced that weren't that desirable. So if this is the fight that he's got to prove to a lot of people that, he's the best in the world, he's pound for pound the best. He's arguably one of the pound for pound best. A lot of people won't agree with me, but I think, Crawford's going to deal with Porter's pressure. He's kind of awkward. He's a wide swinger. He kind of has like a little bit of Shane Mosley in him, Sean Porter. So I think it's going to be a round. I think early round he's going to be.
Bring him over here. Why are you over there?
It's going to be tough, but I think Crawford, like he does with everybody else, after a couple rounds, he figures them out. He breaks them down, and Sean Porter's been dropped but never stopped in his career, and I'm thinking that this is going to be a stoppage here. I think because Crawford is looking to get the best deal possible, whether it's again him re-signing with the Top Rank or moving on and going with another promoter, a knockout or a stoppage of Sean Porter is going to make his checks a lot nicer wherever he decides to end up afterwards. So I think that's where that's going. I think Sean Porter will always be a great fighter, but I think Crawford's going to show why, he's one of the greatest.
Very, very, very well said. Sean Porter, for as long as it lasts or as long as he's in the fight, he's going to make you feel uncomfortable. His job is to continue to make you feel uncomfortable, and that's what he does. I mean, he's one of the most avoided fighters in boxing. I mean, really, he is, because you're not going to look pretty against him. He's going to force you to fight. He's going to force you to do things that you're not accustomed to doing. That's just my take. And before I give my winner, I'll do that leading up to the fight. But I agree with both of you, gentlemen, that it is going to be a great fight, and it's a great matchup for boxing.
Rich can't agree. I flat out said a stoppage.
Oh, you said stoppage.
Rugaru said he favors Crawford, but he thinks it's 50-50.
I talked about the matchup itself. I agree with the matchup being a great matchup.
Again, you can say this again next week. For us, who do you got? for Regis and I, who do you got?
Oh, I got this.
Right, you might change next week. Give us something.
Is that question for Regis?
Yeah, he wants it too. I'm speaking on his behalf right now. I'm his representative right now. So just on this case right here, he wants to know. We want to know. Come on, don't just get it here. This is a boxing discussion. Oh,
of course it is. I have Sean Porter pressing the fight, and I have him upsetting Terrence Crawford. And you heard it here on the Fighter's Voice. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to make you feel uncomfortable, and he's just going to push the fight. I mean, he may be losing after the 6th round, but he has that will inside of him, and I see him pushing it and just pulling an upset.
The odds are one of us are going to be right next Saturday. 2 weeks from now. I'm sorry, 2 weeks from tonight. One of us are going to be correct, I think.
Well, hey, I'm gonna that's been my pick, and unless I don't see anything changing that pick at all, unless I hear somebody rolls an ankle or any of the above, but they're going to continue to. I don't see anybody pulling out of this fight. I see both men making the weight and giving the people exactly what they want, and that's a tremendous fight. So now being that said, Crawford knows deep down that he's in for a dogfight himself. But like I said, when I got to see Terrence Crawford work out, I said, Frank, I mean, he's a different animal. I mean, just watching the man move, and it's, Regis, I've never been to your camp before, but I've been to Crawford, and it's like, I never got to see watch Bruce Lee work out, but it was almost the same. I mean, the way this guy moves, I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He was mimicking different styles. He can fight the Mexican style. He could fight the European style. He could fight the conventional style, or he can just be himself. I mean, the man's ready to adapt, overcome, and take over. Now, you're probably thinking, Richard, you're saying all this, but yet you're pulling for Sean Porter. And you may just say it right then and there, maybe pulling for Sean Porter because of the relationship that I do have with him. But being that stock that I do have in him, I'm too involved to say otherwise, and I'm pulling for my man, Sean Porter.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. But Regis, let me say this. I can't just let you go real quick. One of the questions came in here, and it says, ask Regis, please. I'm looking at his house. He posts a lot about his house, his stories. What does it feel like to have every single bill paid off and to be a millionaire and to get every single thing you've ever wanted in your life?
First off, I don't have every single thing I wanted in my life, not yet. But it feels very, very awesome to be in the position I'm in. I never thought I'd be in the position I'm in right now. I got a fucking mansion out here in Texas. I got a house in New Orleans. I got some other land in New Orleans. And it's just, bro, like, it came from fight. That shit is ridiculous to me. Like, it came from fight. Like, I just know how to fight, and I got all this shit. Like, it's crazy, man. So, I mean, yeah, bro. It feels good, but the craziest part, I feel like I'm just starting. Like, I feel like I'm just starting out. Like, I was already a world champion. I made a few $1 million already, but I feel like that's nothing to where, like, my career is really gonna go. Like, where it's gonna go in these next few years. I feel like it's really gonna, because I want, like I said, I want to be a champion again, and I'm gonna close it. I feel like I'm hungrier. That's the thing. Like, of course. And I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm gonna tell you, I gotta go after this, but
sure,
because my kids is fucking being crazy. But yeah. So, after, like, before the Josh Taylor fight, I trained so hard, and I never thought I can come close to losing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never thought, I can't say I was invincible. I thought I was invincible, but I never thought I could come close to losing. But now after the loss, I still thought I won the fight, but it's a loss on my record. I'm that much hungrier now. Like, I'm super, super hungry. I train. I don't have a fight. I didn't fight since April, and still since that time, I've been training every day. Like, I'm getting better. I feel like I'm just always trying to get better and better and better. So that's why I feel like things are just it's gonna explode for me. In these next few years, because I'm training more and more. I'm hungrier. I got a gym in my house, and I just wake up and train. I wake up, train. I train at nighttime. I'm just nonstop training, trying to get better. So yeah, bro. I just feel like, yeah, that's these next few years will be crazy for me, especially after I'm a 2-time world champion.
Well, that sounds good. It sounds like you got your plan laid out for you. Gentlemen, I'm going to have to say bye-bye to both you guys. Coming up in about 5 minutes, we got Nico Ali Walsh should be a guest on The Fighter's Voice. Frank, I'm going to tap into you, and in about 10 minutes, I want to bring you back on. Regis, I want to thank you for coming on The Fighter's Voice. I do have your questionnaire. Looks like we lost Regis. Your questionnaire, and we'll be...
Regis, I just want to say, man, you know what? I just want to say I'm definitely a fan, bro. You're one of the most dominant fighters of this era. I mean, besides Josh Taylor, bro, you ran through everybody. So, man, to see you, I'm looking forward to seeing you get back in the ring, man. Just, you know what you got to do to get there, man. So, but you always have me supporting you over here in Vegas, and I hope to see you soon out here, man. So,
all right,
definitely,
thank you, man.
It's on a great career, man.
All right, brother. Thank you. Thanks for the support, man.
Hey, Regis, thanks for coming on, man. You always have a chair here on The Fighter's Voice. Appreciate your time, my man.
Got it. All right, bro. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Rich, bring me back on when you get Nico. You tell him, say, I got a surprise for you. Unless he's probably already listening right now. I was with Nico last night. I'm going to go to the Canelo fight tonight.
Okay. Hey, it sounds good. We're going to wrap this up there, and then I'll bring you back on.
All right, bro.
Okay, I'll text you as soon as he's on, my man.
Thanks for having me, man. That was that's good discussion. Good to talk with Rougarou.
Oh yeah, I wanted to surprise you, man. That's what we do here.
Yeah, that's great, man. He's definitely one of the most exciting fighters in the game right now, and good to chat with him, man. One of the studs in boxing, man. One of the must see action stars.
I agree. All right, my man.
Talk to you later, man.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Always good to have you on. Well, guys, we're going to take a small second of a break. We're going to welcome our next guest on the show, and that's Nico Ali Walsh. So until then, remember, it's always a wrap here. Thumbs up for Richie.
Let's go. There's a lot of changes.